Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Joe Ego here. Somebody made a comment. I just want to answer the question. And the comment is tell me more about shamanism that you do and crystals. Well, to be honest, when I was a young child, I looked in the mirror and I remember seeing myself as a baby. And I said to myself, wait a second, what's going on here? Why am I Asian again? And I just knew not to conform to this world. I knew I had to remember a lot of my past lives. And I accepted I'm in a good family, but just don't forget that. I could say about 15 years ago, something transformed me. I saw a psychic, and she suggested that I buy a crystal from her. This is the first crystal that was purchased through the psychic lady. She told me I need to meditate with it every day. So I did for 2 years, and literally 2 years later, in 2012, I felt the energy of crystals were very different. This crystal versus another crystal, very different. So I got into this type of crystal called moldavite, and these type of crystals, they really affected me. Like I started having these very powerful visions. But even when I was about 9 to about 13, I wrote a story about the chosen ones finding these crystals, and the information in the crystals were lost from Atlantis. And they used the crystals in a way that they were able to connect with other people with crystals, their dreams, and they were able to prevent World War III from happening because the crystals helped them amplify these superpowers. Literally, that dream or that story manifested 20 years later. So I always tell kids, if there's anything you can do, write a story of what you want to become. The chances of it coming true from an early age will be a higher. So I could say, feeling like an ancient soul. I was born at a time, 1980, to knowing that things would change from that generation to now massively. So to make a long story short, after I bought those two crystals, my intuitive power started changing rapidly. In 2010, I had a very powerful spiritual awakening. My third eye opened. I mean, that's another video, but I seen a spiritual battle taking place between the physical and spiritual realms, and I was being tormented by demons for 2 years. Like, they were physically attacking me. So I had to learn how to fight them. You can't use a gun or a knife against them. You got to use prayers. Eventually, I started wearing crystals. I started learning about crystals that were powerful like this. This is my most recent crystal. And as soon as I bought or touched one of these type of crystals back in 2012, I had this surge of energy going through my body. And I was in California at the time. I was in Mount Shasta. And I was having visions how to use these crystals. I was having visions how to use it on people for healing, performing psychic surgeries, exorcisms, how to transform water structures with it, how to open up these doorways where these spiritual guardians came through, kind of like a gatekeeper, angels. And then the third dream was standing there, aiming my prayers towards the sky, and then seeing the weather transform. So at the time, I was like, wow, these are very, very powerful dreams. This is not a dream. This is a direct message. And, over time, I was getting these instructions how to use these crystals in almost like a prophecy to heal the earth when it's sick and dying. So in 2014, I went back to California. To make a long story short, I was going through a massive transformation. I had to do twin flame energy in 2013, which I'll talk about another time. And I was shocked. California was drying up. I was like, what's causing this? And people were telling me to look around. There's a poster, it explains what's going on. And I looked at the poster, and it was talking about geoengineering, which involves the spraying of atmospheric chemicals like chemtrails. And I heard about this for 7 years. I really didn't care. But I looked at the sky. It looked like a checkerboard, grids. And immediately I had this vision. I was like, this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to dry up the West Coast. They want to destroy the food and water supply and enslave people. So I had this vision immediately when that happened. And I went outside, and Archangel Michael, and that's another story I'll talk about later because I have pictures of Archangel Michael in my room here, over in the background there. He was instructing me to use these crystals, to pray and point these crystals at the sky and visualize these archangels like these orbs of light flying into the sky, cleaning it all up. So I kept doing it, and it cleared up the sky. And then eventually more and more of these planes kept spraying. It kept clearing up. And, and then all of a sudden these black helicopters appeared. There was like 7 of them. And people around were like, yo, the military knows somebody's here. They're messing around with their plans. I started laughing, saying, too bad for them. I'm just going to keep doing it. So when I was driving around Mount Shasta, I also got the voice of Michael instruct me, saying, now that you're aware of what's going on, pray and summon us and command us to work through you and those crystals to bring rain. So I'd be like listening to my favorite trance song. It's called Painting Pyramids. And I'd be chanting out loud, God give California lots of rain. I'd be chanting it all day, like while I'm driving. And the winds would pick up. Storms would rush in. And you know what? The rains came out of nowhere. And people were like, yo, ever since you showed up here, it's rained. So I went back there 5 times in 2014. I went when it was like the worst drought, fires, and I document it. I tell people, you know, when I'm out there doing ceremonies, the spiritual beings are appearing. I'm capturing photos of them. And, you know, I'm magnifying prayer at a sacred vortex with these giant crystals. And a lot of people will say, you know, there's a prophecy. It's called the Warriors of the Rainbow. These are going to be powerful shamans. They're going to heal the earth when it's sick and dying. So, you know, I could say long ago, I was skeptical of seeing psychics. I did it because I went through a breakup at the time. I wanted to hear something I never heard before. And this psychic lady encouraged me to develop these powers. And she told me, she looked through at my astrology charts and past lives, and she's like, wow, there's something rare about you. You got these royal stars. You know, you're meant to do something that's going to empower children. So I'm a single father right now, which is a beautiful experience, because I know there's a lot of single fathers out there that need inspiration. They need to stay laser focused, and they need to know this is a battle on masculinity. And I feel like this is a time to be a really powerful storyteller. You know, when you put this prayer out there, God worked through me to serve you, just watch how fast your realities change. And, you know, this is why, you know, sometimes God takes you out of a toxic situation for a reason. And, you know, if you're in tune with your dreams, you're in tune with the angel numbers, you're in tune with learning how to manifest through the spoken word, your mindset, your heart. You know, you learn how to use the forces within you, the power of God working within you to affect the world outside of you. You'll be able to manifest more and more, and you'll understand the reason why a lot of these negative things can be happening is because it is a spiritual battle. So anyways, I hope that answers some of your questions. More videos to come, my friends. I'm just rebuilding my social media. I keep getting censored, but you know you're doing God's work when God doesn't give you the toughest battles if you're not one of his toughest warriors. All right, take care, my friends. Love you.